These celebrities tried to warn us about the Illuminati, and maybe we should have listened. So there are a ton of different celebrities who have spoken out over the years about the Illuminati, and today we're going to go through a list of some of the most interesting times that celebrities try to expose the Hollywood industry, the Illuminati, whatever you want to call it, allegedly. All right, the first person I want to talk about is Kanye West. This one's not really a surprise. Obviously, Kanye has been yapping about the industry for a very long time, and a lot of people chalk it up to Kanye being crazy, and also he obviously has said very terrible and offensive and hateful things, so like you have to take it with a grain of salt. But I still think that we should take into account what he has had to say about the Illuminati, because I honestly find it kind of interesting. So in regards to the Illuminati and the industry, Kanye is not someone who spoke in riddles. He kind of like laid out the facts, said them out loud, called out P. Diddy well before the trial was ever happening. It's weird, I'm not gonna lie.
I'm in here, my mama was sacrificed.
Me too.
You understand?
Yeah, I'm Christian.
Michael Jordan, what about him? His daddy, right? Bill Cosby, his son, right? Dr. Dre, his son. You're out in Hollywood, a lot of people come up missing. Feels like it might be a lot of that in order to control, traumatize. They want to monetize and traumatize. And God loved me. You understand? They hit me. Gap, Adidas, all that away. Still, Forbes, who hate me, right, had to write net worth 400 million. Jesus is king. God loved me.
That's more important thing in life.
That's the thing. You know what I'm saying? And this truth is gonna be heard. Y'all can't send none of y'all meat mills, y'all puppies, y'all little boozies, none of these names. None of these people that have to listen to y'all because they have legal. I never killed nobody, right? I'm the pussy that never killed nobody, right? But that means I can say whatever I want and not go to jail.
Kanye is basically saying the reason that he can expose the Illuminati, the industry, whatever you want to call it, is because he has never killed anyone. And he claims that there's a lot of celebrities who have committed crimes or killed someone or something horrible. And that is why they get blackmailed into being a part of the Illuminati and also into being quiet. And I think that that has some truth to it. I mean, Diddy, for example, a lot of people think he was involved with Tupac's death, including me. I allegedly believe it, especially now that we know the things that Diddy is capable of and the things that he has been doing for the last several decades of his time being famous. I just think it's interesting, and I want to hear your thoughts on it, because it's, again, Kanye, you have to kind of take the things that he says with a grain of salt, because obviously, again, he has spread a lot of hate speech and just said a lot of horrible things. But I do find his words here to be particularly interesting. I mean, he literally says that his mom was sacrificed so that he could become famous. I don't know. Sacrificed by who? Does he have any say in it? Like, is it just an overall bigger conspiracy theory? That's the question. And I just want some answers, okay? I want them. Because I feel like we do still have to take what he said into account about this, because, I mean, he would know. He obviously has been in the industry for decades, and he's rubbed elbows with all of these people. I don't know. Again, is he the most reliable source? Not really. But also at the same time, is it that insane of a thought to have the media make somebody look crazy so that it makes the things they're saying less valuable? Don't know. Just saying. I think it's interesting. Somebody else that I feel like is very interesting to talk about in regards to the industry as a whole is Britney Spears. Now, Britney Spears has never publicly spoken necessarily about the Illuminati in such a way like Kanye did, and how he was obviously talking about the industry, how he has literally said the words the Illuminati before. But Britney talks about kind of a deeper problem, and honestly the whole conspiracy theory that celebrities have handlers and controllers that are controlling their everyday lives is not conspiracy when it comes to Britney Spears. It's literally factual. It happened. It's on record. She was in a conservatorship that absolutely stripped away her freedom and any of her own basic human decisions that we get to make every day. She couldn't decide when she wanted to drink coffee. She couldn't decide who she wanted to hang out with, who she wanted to date. All of these things were out of the realm of possibility for Britney Spears for 13 years while she was under a conservatorship, which is something that is not used for somebody who's just a little bit mentally ill or going through it or having a hard time, it's literally usually used for people who are actually incapable of making their own decisions. Like usually older people who can no longer make decisions consciously anymore. Britney Spears, who was still able to be on Glee, I don't know why that was the first thing that came to mind, it just was, have a residency tour, multiple tours, multiple albums throughout this entire conservatorship, was still being ruled by the court as not able to make her own basic life decisions. I think that's suspicious, and she has spoken out about it a lot since she's gotten out of her conservatorship. She point blank said in her testimony, "I just want my life back. I truly believe this conservatorship is abusive and I deserve to have the same rights as anybody else." She said, "I was forced to take lithium. I felt drunk. I couldn't even have a conversation with my mom or dad about anything." She's also been sent to several rehab facilities that she claimed that she never needed. She also claimed that an IUD was inserted in her and she was not able to take it out, which is crazy, actually. Like the fact that that was able to be made a decision on behalf of someone like Britney Spears, who's obviously capable enough of making decisions. Sorry, that's just wrong. It's wrong. She wasn't allowed to see her children, but she still had to work every day of the week. It was honestly a very dark time for Britney Spears. But a lot of people think, and I agree with this, that the industry is more involved here than you might think, because obviously we know she was under conservatorship under her father, Jamie Spears, which a lot of people have always believed that this was all about money. And I agree to an extent. I do think that they were after Britney's money. However, I also think that the way conservatorships are, the fact that Britney Spears had to have her conservatorship reviewed every year for 13 years for the court to decide she still needed to be in a conservatorship, I think the industry was involved in that decision. Point blank, I'm not gonna lie. I don't think her father would have had that kind of pull to keep his daughter in this conservatorship if he wasn't using or benefiting from the Illuminati, the government, the elite, whatever you want to call it. I just don't believe it. Sorry. I don't know. It's just kind of whack to me that one of the biggest pop stars of all time was being treated the way that she was being treated for 13 years. And this just kept going on and on until finally the public made a big enough to-do out of it that she got out of her conservatorship, which many lawyers claim that they've literally never seen that happen before. I'm just saying, I think that there's more conspiracy to this, and I always have. All right, the next person I want to talk about is David Dobrik. Kind of an insane pull out of nowhere here, but David has gone on record saying some crazy shit about the Illuminati that honestly, I just got to talk about it.
So back in our party days, there was this person that lived with us. His name was Sydney.
Yeah, I remember Sydney.
She really wanted to be famous, and she met somebody who could promise her that. And he was like, "I know how to make you famous." And she's like, "How?" And he's like, "We can turn you into anything.
Scientology.
We can turn you into a singer, an actor, whatever you want."
MTV's made.
And one day he visited her apartment and he was like in a suit and tie. And I came in and then she's like, "Please leave." And she closed the door on me. So I left. And she came up to my apartment fucking sobbing. And she was like, "This guy, please, you cannot repeat this." And for 3 years, I held the story to myself because I thought this guy was going to kill me. They're like, "If you ever repeat this, they'll kill me and they'll kill you and they'll kill anybody that you love." She was like, "This guy came to me and he's like, I can turn you into anything you want to be, but you have to sacrifice somebody." And I just spoke to my mother, and my mom really supports me. And she's like willing to be sacrificed so I can become a singer or whatever, famous. It was completely serious. And it was really fucking terrible.
Part 2.
And I don't want to say the names that were there, but they were like these big Hollywood guys who've been around for a really long time. Like, they're like, when you think of like old Hollywood, these are the names that come up.
Yeah.
And she was talking to one of them. She was an attractive person. So, the guys at the party were like into her, and they were like listening to what she was saying. And she was just like, "Yeah, I was approached by the Illuminati." And this one guy goes, "Please do not listen to anything they have to say. They ruined my best friend's life." And he was referring to Michael Jackson. And he's like, "They ruined my friend's life. They're horrible people." And it was fucking and I was sitting there. This was like a 4 a.m. conversation. And I was sitting there just like, like, oh my God. Like I need to go tell somebody.
I don't think I'm supposed to be here listening to this.
Stressing out. And I mean, that's kind of where it got to. Like that was like the climax of it. But it was like a really serious thing that she like really kept a secret. And like now I've been around enough and I've gotten to like ask like a lot of like celebs that I met about the Illuminati because I've always been so curious. Right?
Yeah.
Like that's like such a big thing. Like every time I meet any big celeb, like my fourth question in is like, Illuminati, real, fake? And always same answer. It's always the same answer. It's like, oh yeah. Everybody, no matter who they are, everyone always says that because it's as a joke. So but But yeah, that was like a really creepy thing. And I remember she told you guys.
I don't like that. Here's the thing. If that happened to me, if I was like at a party and I was surrounded by a bunch of celebrities that are like well-known old Hollywood, like very important people, and someone that was also friends with Michael Jackson, and like I knew that substantially, and they were claiming that the Illuminati ruined Michael Jackson's life and killed him, I don't like that because that's already what I think. And okay, it's tinfoil hattie. I like to just like pretend like it's not real a lot of the time. When I sit here and film these videos, we're locking in, we're talking about these conspiracy theories. When I go to bed at night, it was all fake. It's all just a joke. It's all, everyone's joking. How are you gonna say that that was a joke? The only thing you can really say is that David was lying, which possibility, not gonna lie. But I think it's an incredibly interesting theory, and I have heard a lot of people kind of talk about this here and there about, you know, celebrities, the Illuminati, like different circles. When you live in LA, you kind of just hear things like that. But that is so specific. Like if it was coming from like Tom Hanks or like someone who's like a old Hollywood person, that would be bananas. I honestly don't know if I even believe it, because the fact that he spoke about this on a public podcast is kind of scary to me. Because like if I was in that room, girl, I'm sorry, I don't know if I would tell you guys. I don't know. It's too scary. Hello? But I need to hear your guys' thoughts on this, because this was a couple years ago, and for some reason I had never seen this clip before, and it just makes me feel so eerie if this story is true. I don't know. I have a lot of questions here. I feel like I know the girl that he's referring to. I could see that being a possibility, and I don't know. And I just think a lot of this is strange. And what I will say about Michael Jackson is a lot of people believe that he tried to speak out against well, he did. It's not even a belief. He did try to speak out against the Illuminati before he died. He said several things about Sony and the industry. It was more industry based, like it was more about producers, and he was like in a battle with Sony because he was going to own the Beatles masters, which is owning someone's masters, obviously. And then he died, and a lot of people, including his family, believe that he was murdered on purpose and that it wasn't just an accidental death by Conrad Murray. I don't know. There's even this weird phone call that Michael Jackson allegedly made the day or the days leading up to his death.
What's wrong, Michael? I don't know if I should tell you this, but I don't know who may be listening. There may be a group of people that want to get rid of me. They don't want me here anymore.
I don't understand. What do you mean? Talk to me.
I can't talk about it over the phone. I don't know what's going to happen, but I just feel in my soul, only God knows.
I don't know. He literally says they're going to kill me. Who's they? Just saying. And then when you tie that in with David Dobrik's story about it, don't like it. Don't like it one bit. No. All right, speaking of like the YouTube space, we're going to talk about someone who I don't actually believe knows anything. That's Jeffree Star. Sorry, I've heard Jeffree talk about the Illuminati in so many different ways. I honestly just think it's a hoax and he does it for attention, and I'll explain why. Like, okay, I have evidence as to why I think it's fake. Just saying. I know a lot of people believe what Jeffree Star has to say about the Illuminati and thinks he was in it and approached by the Illuminati because he has said that he has been. But then he's also just made these jokes about it that just don't add up. So let's talk about the difference between two of these videos here.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah. And is the Illuminati like celebrity based, or are there politicians also involved with that?
Money-based.
It's just money based.
Mm-hmm. And then the celebrities are used as a vessel.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. How much money?
Vessel.
How much money does someone have to make to be in?
Or what you're willing to do to not be broke anymore.
What does that mean?
Dun, dun.
Yeah. You speak in riddles. Like you give me just enough where I'm like, I don't know.
You have to, so I don't get my plane bombed or killed later, you know?
It's your fear for your life when you're speaking right now.
But it kind of turns me on. Oh, I love living on the edge. Like, you never know if you're going to get JFK'd. What's going on over there? Hip-hop's weird. They're all weird.
Why do you say that?
They're all freaks. They're all into everything. And there's just a lot of weird stuff going on over there.
Wish you'd say more.
NFL is a lot more safer.
I feel like the NFL being safer, like in what way is the NFL safer?
There's less games and trickery and weird shit.
So he talks about that, which he's not really saying it many things that like the average person hasn't heard about the Illuminati. Like he's not giving any really new information here, you know? So my thing is that if Jeffree Star was so scared of the Illuminati, was approached by the Illuminati, I don't think he would have said this.
I wish I had a third eye right here. Well, I am a part of the Illuminati, so I do sometimes, but right now for this review, we're just gonna have to open up this packaging.
Even as a joke, I don't think he would say it because like the way that he acts, like it's so scary. Like, oh, like they're gonna freaking bomb my plane. They're gonna kill me for saying this. They're gonna JFK me. Like, no, I'm sorry. Like, honestly, to me, David Dobrik's story makes more sense and is more believable because we've seen for a fact that David Dobrik does hang around with really big celebrities. So I'm sure he has come in contact with them before. Whether or not the celebrity themselves were maybe the one that was lying or something in the situation was shady or there was truth to it, that's up for debate. But Jeffree Star just yaps. I honestly feel like that's true. Like as soon as Kanye started the whole rumor that him and Kanye were hooking up, and then he like wasn't denying it, but then he did deny it, and then Kanye like did something crazy, and then he was like, oh fuck it, the rumors were true. Like I just feel like he likes to be talked about. Sorry. I also feel like Jeffree Star does not have said Illuminati money. I'm also sorry. Like, I mean, he makes a lot of money, don't get me wrong. But like, I don't know. Maybe I'm biased. I just want to hear your guys' thoughts because I've never believed that, but I guess we could say he tried to warn us if he's correct. All right, the next person I want to talk about is Bob Dylan. He made a very interesting statement about the industry / Illuminati / some people think the devil, other people think God, but let's just listen.
Why do you still do it? Why are you still out here?
Well, it goes back to the destiny thing. I mean, I made a bargain with it, you know, a long time ago, and I'm holding up my end.
What was your bargain?
To get where I am now.
Should I ask who you made the bargain with?
with the chief commander.
On this earth?
And in this earth, and then in a world we can't see.
That's obviously weird. That's a weird thing to say. A lot of people think that he's referring to making a deal with the devil here. I don't know. I mean, I definitely think it's an interesting theory. And again, he's someone who is a very famous person that would probably know more. So I do think it's weird that he said that, but he's also maybe joking. I don't know. And when it comes to joking, there's no one else to talk about the Illuminati than Jim Carrey. So Jim Carrey, we've talked about before how he went on Kimmel and said all of this.
Is that a gang sign? Have you, Oh, like you don't know what it is. You don't know what that is.
I have no idea.
Well, you don't know. Jimmy Fallon doesn't know. David Letterman doesn't know.
We don't know.
All the comics and show business don't know what this is. Right? Yeah.
What is it?
Come on, Jimmy. Seriously, the time is up. People are hip to this kind of stuff. I'm here tonight to blow the lid off it, to be the whistleblower. I'm sick and tired of the secrets and the lies. It is the secret symbol of the Illuminati, and you're a part of it, and it is the all-mocking tongue. And I'm sick of it. I want everybody to be in on the joke, man. You know.
Here's the thing, is I've always thought that Jim Carrey interview was a joke. I've heard the conspiracies of it. I've heard people be like, there was no laugh track that day. Like the audience was completely silent. They added the laugh track later or whatever. The reason I don't believe this is because like, why wouldn't they have just scrubbed the episode if he had said all of that? I feel like that would have been a delete kind of situation, you know, if it was real. I personally think he was joking here. However, I will say then I did see this interview of him in New York at New York Fashion Week, and that I thought was kind of weird.
This is the first time I've run into Jim Carrey. Wait, tell me, is it true you're wandering the streets? You need a date to the party? What's up?
No. I'm doing just fine. I just, you know, there's no meaning to any of this. So I wanted to find the most meaningless thing that I could come to and join, and here I am.
They're celebrating.
I mean, you got to admit it's completely meaningless.
Well, they say they're celebrating icons inside.
Celebrating icons, boy, that is just the absolute lowest aiming, you know, possibility that we could come up with. It's like icons. Do you believe in icons? I don't believe in personalities. I don't believe that you exist, but there is a wonderful fragrance in the air.
You don't believe certain icons have the power to make change, to think differently, to be bold, to inspire others? Artistry? You're one of them.
On the good foot. Ha! Yeah, you shut her down now.
I feel like that particular interview was a little bit stranger, honestly, in my opinion. Is he trying to say something? Is he trying to warn us that this is like kind of truth to it? That there is truth to the Illuminati, the elites, whatever you want to call it. And he's kind of using joking as like a background so that he can express what he knows without getting in trouble. I don't know. I kind of believe it. I do. Like, again, Jim Carrey's another person that would obviously know a lot about the industry, and I just find this all to be very interesting. But let me know your thoughts. All right, the next person I want to talk about is Isaac Kappy. So Isaac Kappy was a working actor. He had some parts in Thor, Terminator, Salvation, and Breaking Bad, and he had been exposing the Illuminati all the way up until his death. So he passed away in 2019, but from 2018 to 2019, he really flooded his live streams with a bunch of claims about hidden power in Hollywood and the elites and like dark shit that was going on in the industry that he has seen. And then obviously he ends up dying. So he like literally made a video saying that he was never suicidal. He wouldn't be suicidal. But on May 13th of 2019 in Belmont, Arizona, authorities say that Isaac Kappy forced himself off of the Transwestern Bridge onto I-40 and was struck by a vehicle and passed away. But a lot of people don't believe this to be true, and a lot of people think that either he's still alive somewhere or that he was murdered by the Illuminati that he talked so negatively about. I don't know. I think it's strange. You just have to hear some of the things that he was saying.
They don't want you to know. They want to keep you in the dark, and they're losing their control. They're losing it, but it's at this point, it's just they can't do anything. They cannot do anything. It's over. The only thing that has to happen is that the people need to see what is going on. The people need to wake up. The people have the power. You have the power. You've just given it away. You've accepted what they've been giving you for so long that you need to wake up. You need to research. You need to get out of the mind state that the mainstream media is the arbiter of truth, because they're not. The New York Times lied and lied and lied and lied and lied, and then got us into the Iraq War. All they do is lie. Look what they did to Michael. Look what they did to Michael. They destroyed him. And look at his music. His music is so uplifting for people, but they destroyed him. They hate the light. They hate when people are connected and loving. And that is why that's why we're going to burn these pieces of shit to the fucking ground. Straight up. It's already happening. Guys, compromise, folks. It's already done. It's already done.
You know what a lot of people also talk about is how similar he looks to David Rothschild's, which we know, don't talk about the Rothschilds family or they will come up to you and whisper in your ear, Rothschilds while you're taking a walk. Okay, I'm scared. But I do think that's weird. Do I think they're the same person? Probably not, but I think it's interesting nonetheless. Maybe he's related in some way. I don't know. But either way, I feel like a lot of people do not believe this man committed suicide. I mean, he said multiple times that he would never do that, and then now here he is. So I don't know. A lot of what we actually do know that does happen in Hollywood, which is specifically the blackmail situation of it all. P. Diddy, specifically like the freak offs, there was videos shown in court of different celebrities and people involved with P. Diddy who were recording illegal actions during these freak offs, and what else were they being used for other than blackmail? I'm just saying. So it is kind of interesting that we have seen some of these ideas pan out in real life. I kind of think this guy has some truth to what he was saying. I'm sorry. It's just a little too weird. It's too weird. But let me hear your thoughts. The next person I want to talk about is Stephen Baldwin. So Stephen Baldwin is Hailey Bieber's father, and he talks about the devil running Hollywood, and I don't like it.
You've said that the devil runs Hollywood.
I did say that.
Yes. You still believe it?
Well, let me ask you a question.
Okay.
Didn't we just have Christmas?
Yes.
What were the films that premiered for Christmas? Name the titles you can think of now.
Let me see. There was Carry On,
Right.
which had a Christmas backdrop to it.
Right.
But I can't really think of any actual
And
Christmas
then you
films.
had Nicole Kidman's film came out.
Oh, did it? Okay.
Yeah. Was Baby Girl, I think it's called.
Okay, yeah, I
Not
missed
a
that
Christmas movie.
No.
It's not a Christmas
No,
movie.
you're not really seeing Christmas movies right
You're
now.
not really seeing... And then
There's no
Nostradamus.
Grinch,
What is that?
there's no,
Nostradamus. Whatever.
yeah.
I can't even say it. It's so evil. How do you say that? Is that the vampire movie?
Yeah.
Which, if you look at the marketing for the new Christmas vampire movie, Vlad, see where I'm going with this, guys? See the new
movie.
Christmas vampire movie? If you look at the advertising for that, it doesn't say devil. It doesn't say, this. It never says, it says, darkness. And, the principalities of darkness. And, so to answer your question, if you really want to open this can of spiritual worms, Vlad.
Let's open it.
The rating system in Hollywood is what it is. So you have G, PG, PG-13, NC-17, rated R, all of that, right?
Yeah.
Which one of all those ratings, Vlad, is the most profitable?
G.
G, correct.
Yeah.
What percentage of G films are made every year?
30%.
Something like that.
Yep.
I ask you, Vlad, who runs Hollywood? Why would the highest profitable rating be only 30%? What are they making in that other 70%?
Yeah. Well,
Vlad?
but you can't just make kids movies and that's it.
I agree.
Right? If you're a major studio, you can't just have 90% of your films be G-rated films.
Right.
And what was it? Is it MGM? It's art for art's sake. I think there's a certain level of creativity that the film companies want to do.
Right.
Harvey Weinstein, I thought, was really good at that when he looked at films like The Help and so forth. I don't think he looked at that film as, this is going to be the biggest blockbuster. I'm sure he didn't think it was going to be bigger than Lord of the Rings, but it was a very creative film.
Right.
And it did well, and it won Oscars and so forth.
Right.
So I think that's why they don't just do 80, 90% G-rated films, even though they make a lot of money. That's what I think.
I disagree completely.
Okay.
I disagree completely.
And why is that?
Well, just because if you're any one of these fat cats running stuff, it's all about the money. But like Amazon just bought MGM, bro. Like that.
The whole back catalog.
Like that.
Yeah.
Bezos just went, buy it. I don't care what it costs. I want it. And now, just like Whole Foods, he's going to switch the legendary MGM to Amazon. And then he's going to plug that in to Whole Foods.
Right.
And then he's...
Well, to be fair, Jeff Bezos is not part of Amazon anymore.
But bro,
he has retired.
My point is...
But, his fingerprints are all over it.
Right.
I get it.
But my point is, it's about the money. And don't ever let Hollywood fool you to believe it's about something else. All of those... Bob Iger right now is trying to make more money, Daddy-O.
Yeah, I
like
feel you.
all the rest of them. So that's the kind of irony of my point. Yeah. When I make the G to PG-13, R, NC-17 comparison, if you really want to be in profit, where the hell is one person in Hollywood who's going to be the king of Hollywood to break all this down? I want to know.
Well, it's Disney to a certain degree, right? I mean, Disney dominates the G films, as a whole, right?
They probably profit the most from G.
Yeah.
But what I'm trying to figure out is...
But even a lot of their biggest films aren't G-rated films. Like, is Moana G-rated or is it PG?
G. Should be G. I'm going to guess. Maybe PG, but it doesn't... You're making the same point.
No, Moana is a PG-rated film.
Right.
What about Moana 2? Let's take a look.
Now, my question is, how did Moana become PG and not
PG
G?
as well. Yeah, PG
Why
as well.
It PG?
I don't know. Maybe some of the themes are a little mature. I mean, I love the film. Moana is one of my favorite Disney films ever.
I could joust Vlad right now. No, but I understand what you're saying. And listen, don't get me wrong.
Yeah, even Frozen was PG.
Is a great
Wicked
idea.
was PG. Yeah.
Art for art's sake is a great idea.
Yeah.
A vampire movie at Christmas, I think, is designed.
Okay.
it seems to be they scheduled it differently, Vlad.
Yeah, fair enough.
So I think that there is some truth to what he's saying here. I agree that it is strange that Hollywood is so focused on money. There's no doubt about that. We know that. And the fact that G movies do make so much more money than any other rating of movie, I do think it's weird that they only add up to 30%. I mean, obviously, like the podcaster was saying, like the interviewer was saying back and forth, being like, well, they can't make only kids movies. I agree, but they definitely could be making more than 30%. Just saying. I don't know. I mean, I do think it's interesting. Obviously, his daughter is married to like one of the most famous pop stars. So I find it to be an interesting theory, but I want to hear your guys' thoughts because I just kind of agree with some of the things that he was saying, especially because he's right. Hollywood is not like let's make this for the sake of the arts. Like, let's make this for the sake of it being creative or fun or interesting. Like, it's about money. That's what everything is about. And I just don't believe any of that shit. So I do think it's weird. I do. I don't know. I want to hear your thoughts on that. And it might have to do with more of like the idea of, you know, putting these dark subliminal messages into every movie and TV show so that that's what we're consuming every day. Just saying. I don't know. A little tinfoil hat. It's interesting. All right. The last celebrity I want to talk about is probably one of the most famous people on this list. Probably the most low-key, and that is Marilyn Monroe. So Marilyn Monroe allegedly had a lot to say about the industry, the Illuminati, and the government before her death. Obviously, we know that she was very highly involved with the Kennedy brothers, JFK and Bobby Kennedy. She was having an affair with both of them, allegedly. And obviously, JFK was the president at the time. Robert Kennedy was the attorney general. High up family, of course. There have been a lot of conspiracy theories about Marilyn's death, and could there be this darker conspiracy theory that the government was possibly trying to silence Marilyn Monroe? I've always believed that concept. I've done several different videos on Marilyn Monroe and her death and things that don't add up on it, but this part in particular has always stood out to me, and it's allegedly what her hairstylist says that Marilyn claimed in the days leading up to her death. So at around 9:30 p.m. on August 4th, the night that Marilyn died, she allegedly called her hairdresser Sidney Gilliard, and he claimed that she sounded terrified. She told him that she was surrounded by danger and that she had betrayed men in high places, which a lot of people think is alluding to the Kennedys. She also claimed that Robert Kennedy had been in her house that day and he was yelling and threatening to break off their relationship when he had just before been promising that he wanted to marry her. She allegedly told Sidney that she told Robert Kennedy that she was going to hold a press conference and go public, not just about the affair, but about different secrets that she had heard during pillow talk between her and JFK and her and Robert Kennedy. Like, think things like aliens or Illuminati, stuff that we just as society didn't have much knowledge on from actual government officials, like Marilyn did. She had the inside scoop. When her hairdresser asked about what these secrets were, she just responded with dangerous ones and then hung up. Shortly after that, she allegedly called the screenwriter Jose Bolanos, and he claimed that she told him something that would one day shock the whole world, but then refused to repeat it for the rest of his life. And when you add that to the FBI's like real documented interest in Marilyn Monroe and the fact that the affairs were most likely happening, it kind of, and then the like murkiness around her death, trying to expose the Illuminati, the government, the Kennedys in some sort of way. And the only way to stop her was to kill her. And that's what happened, allegedly. I don't know. I have always believed this conspiracy theory. I genuinely think it's true, but I want to hear your guys' thoughts. Anyway, that is it for today's video. If you guys liked it, please give it a big thumbs up. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think of these different conspiracy theories and all of these celebrities. Do you think they were really trying to warn us? Do you think they're just lying? What do you think? Anyway, that is it. Make sure you follow me on Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram, and subscribe for new videos every week, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.